Yehova, please fill me with the Ruach HaKodesh, that I may speak your written words with boldness to those who listen. I ask all these things in Yeshua HaMashiach's name, amen. We'll start with the Shema, listen and obey. Children of Yehova, pay careful attention and respond. Yehova is our power and authority. Yehova works in unity with himself, and you shall act upon your love. To Yehovah with your power and authority, with your thoughts in mind, with your entire body, and with all the muchness that you have. Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Hand, behold, nail, behold. Exodus chapter 1. These are the names of the sons of Israel who came into Egypt with Yaakov. Each man came with his household. Reuben, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, Yisachar, Zebulun, Benjamin, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. All told, there were 70 descendants of Yaakov. Joseph was already in Egypt. Joseph died, as did all his brothers and all that generation. The descendants of Israel were fruitful, increased abundantly, multiplied and grew very powerful. The land became filled with them. Now there arose a new king over Egypt. He knew nothing about Joseph, but said to his people, "Look, the descendants of Israel have become a people too numerous and powerful for us. Come, let's use wisdom in dealing with them. Otherwise, they'll continue to multiply, and in the event of war, they might ally themselves with our enemies, fight against us, and leave the land altogether." So they put slave masters over them to oppress them with forced labor. And they built for Pharaoh the storage cities of Pithom and Ramses. But the more the Egyptians oppressed them, the more they multiplied and expanded, until the Egyptians came to dread the people of Israel and worked them relentlessly, making their lives bitter with hard labor, digging clay, making bricks, all kinds of field work. And in all this toil, they were shown no mercy. Moreover, the king of Egypt spoke to the Hebrew midwives, one of whom was called Shephrah, and the other Puah. "When you attend the Hebrew women and see them giving birth," he said, "if it's a boy, kill him. But if it's a girl, let her live." However, the midwives were God-fearing women, so they didn't do as the king of Egypt ordered, but let the boys live. The king of Egypt summoned the midwives and demanded of them, "Why have you done this? And let the boys live." The midwives answered Pharaoh, "It's because the Hebrew women aren't like the Egyptian women. They go into labor and give birth before the midwife arrives." Therefore God prospered the midwives, and the people continued to multiply and grow very powerful. Indeed, because the midwives feared God, he made them founders of families. Then Pharaoh gave this order to all his people: "Every boy that is born, throw in the river, and let all the girls live." How can we learn to love our Creator after reading Exodus chapter 1? We can know that 70 descendants of Yaakov were in Egypt. Know that after Joseph and all his brothers died, they had become a very powerful people. The land was filled with them. Know that a new king rose up over Egypt, not knowing Joseph. Know that this king used wisdom to deal with them. Know that it was at this time that the slave masters were put over them with forced labor. They built Pharaoh the storage cities of Pithom and Ramses. Know that the more the Israelites were oppressed, the more fruitful they became. Aim to show mercy everywhere you go. Know that it was at this time that the Hebrew boys were targeted to be put to death at birth. No, it was the fear of Elohim that these women, Shaphrah and Puah, did not kill the boys being born. Know that because these women feared Elohim, did not kill the boys being born, that Elohim prospered the midwives. Know that Elohim made the midwives founders of families. Know that Pharaoh gave an order to have every boy born thrown into the river, letting the girls live. How can we love others as Yeshua loves us? We can show mercy. Bear one another's burdens, fear Elohim, Yehova, Elav Tav, and do not kill babies. Produce spiritual fruit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, humility, and self-control. In this Shavuot, the beginning of Pentecost, the giving of the 10 Commands and the outpouring of the Ruach HaKodesh with the Aaronic blessing, Yehovah will kneel before you presenting gifts, and he will guard you with a hedge of protection. Yehovah will illuminate the wholeness of his being toward you, bringing order, and he will provide you with love, sustenance, and friendship. Yehovah will lift up the wholeness of his being and look upon you and will set in place all you need to be whole and complete.